interval video is back. Oh my god, finally. I've only been pushing for the return of this function since it was dropped after the original Go. Okay, if you're not familiar with the Insta360 GO series of cameras, it's actually my favorite series of cameras ever from any manufacturer. And I've been using, reviewing and making tips videos since the original Go came out in 2019. Almost 5 years later, Insta360 have updated their lineup and have released the Go 3S. I actually don't know why they've done an Apple and stuck an S on the end of the Go 3 because some of the features have been seriously upgraded. This is worthy of calling it a Go 4. I mean, Go 4K would be a better name because the 3S now shoots in 4K. I'll show you some of that and also ask whether you really need to be shooting in 4K. And there is good news for those of you who have the Go 3 and don't really want to pay up for a whole other camera. Stay tuned and I'll share that good news later in the video, as well as a ton of other new upgrades and features throughout. It's so packed, you might want to watch this video over a couple of times. Thanks to Insta360 for sending me a review version of the Go 3S, and I wasn't paid to make this video, and just to be clear, I have made that ton of videos about the Go cameras, so I think I know what I'm talking about here. Alright, this is actually quite exciting. Where shall I start? Why is the Go 3S suddenly at the top of my all-time list of favorite cameras ever? Well, let's start with how the Go 3S builds on the very solid platform of the Go 3. The 3S is my favorite camera because it's designed for a bit of everything. It's a bit of a jack of all trades, but I think the compromises it makes are very livable with. I mean, the gains far outweigh any losses. Yes, it's not a full action camera and it's not going to be as robust. The action pod, the thing that has the screen, extended battery and houses the camera unit, is not waterproof more than the odd splash and rain, rated at IPX4. But the camera unit is waterproof to 10 meters, and that's perfectly acceptable to me and an upgrade from 5 meters on the Go 3. For me, as someone who wants to capture vlogs on my travel adventures, family videos, pet videos, cycling, running, hiking, and to get amazing special features like the new dynamic time lapses and super smooth hyperlapses, I mean, it's pretty much got everything. Okay, not absolutely everything. I still have a few things on my wish list and we'll get to those. But let's talk about the big headline feature improvements. First, though I found the 2.7K on the Go 3 perfectly fine, we now have 4K 30 on the Go 3S. Yes, the Go 3S is now more powerful, shooting in stunning 4K and capturing twice the number of pixels compared to the 2.7K, so you can relive every moment in clear detail. I can't tell you how happy this makes me. And 4K 30 is available both in straight video mode and free frame mode too, meaning you can change the aspect ratio in post and still get 4K video. Okay, this is 4K 30 in free frame mode. Whoa, watch this wave. Yeah, and I'll export this from the app. And this is with MegaView as well. MegaView. It looks quite nice on screen, that's for sure. We'll see what it looks like, and you can judge for yourself. The max video bitrate has also been increased to 120 megabits per second for better image quality compared to 80 megabits per second on the Go 3, and you still get the same silky smooth superb flow state stabilization. It's a little heavier for sure, but it's still like nothing. It really is still super lightweight, portable, and great for 4K video hands-free shooting using the excellent mounting system. It's actually 39.1 grams versus 35.5 grams for the Go 3. That's less than 4 grams difference, meaning that the Go 3 and 3S pretty much weigh the same. You still get a hat clip, a pendant, and pivot stand in the package, meaning you've got everything you need to mount anywhere and all included in the package. You don't have to buy anything extra. But there's a new thing. Instead of the little thing that changes the angle of the pendant mount so it points more downwards when you're wearing it around your neck, they've made the hat clip magnetic. So now you can slap on the hat clip onto the pendant and it gives you a really secure mount with many more angles to play with. This is an excellent little design improvement. The lens guard has also been tweaked a little with an upgraded design with curved surfaces to make it a little easier to grip for easier installation and removal if you ever need to do that. Maybe for ND filters or to replace it if it ever gets dinged. The pivot base is also now usable on curved surfaces, and the base and cover are attached to each other to stop you losing that cover. More new things. It's a small camera, and I know that I've sometimes had it detach if I've knocked it off the pendant mount, and you can be nervous about finding it again if you're cycling or walking or something. Well, the Go 3S is now compatible with Apple's Find My feature, meaning you can quickly relocate your Go 3S if you accidentally leave it somewhere or knock it off. Now, this works only with the Go 3S and not the Action Pod, but as the Go 3S camera unit is the part of the kit you'll most likely knock off its mount somehow or drop inadvertently, well, I think that's just fine. And it can be found even if it's powered off, so long as it has some battery charge remaining. And so long as it's somewhere within the Apple Find My network, you can find it no matter how far away it is. I mean, you can even check if you've left it home by mistake. But that Find My network means it needs nearby Apple devices to detect the Go 3S via Bluetooth. That's how the whole thing works. The next big thing, and here's the thing I've been thrilled about. Interval video is back. You can easily capture a whole day without touching your camera. It's an absolute gem of a feature. The interval video turns on by itself on the 3S and records at specific intervals for as long as you want it to. When you're done, Auto Edit can work its magic and create an awesome video with all the highlights set to music. And this is perfect for filming family trips, your pet's daily adventures, scenic rides, and it's just great for social media. Let's talk about battery life and how 4K video affects that. Well, Insta360 reckons that filming at 1080p 30 frames per second, you can get 38 minutes from the camera unit alone and a total of 140 minutes for the camera unit and the Action Pod together before you're out of juice. At 4K 30, you'll get 32 minutes for the camera alone and 122 minutes when using the Action Pod and camera unit before you bonk out. I think that's pretty good. Now, they do recommend that you'll get better performance in windy conditions because that will cool the unit. But I think filming for long periods in warm or still environments may lead to a few overheating issues and increased power consumption, and therefore lower your shooting time as the battery gets chewed up. But I'm not all that surprised about that. I mean, it is a really small unit. More new features? Sure. There's a new tilt fix feature that helps if the mounting is a little off level or there are some minor shakes when you're filming. This means if you've got it roughly right, you can still use the 4K mode and get level video directly offloaded via USB-C rather than having to record in free frame mode and processing through the Insta360 app or desktop studio.
Okay, this is with the tilt screen on, and we'll do it with it off and we'll see what that looks like. Okay, this is with tilt screen off. Tilt screen off. We'll see what that looks like. What's the horizon look like behind me?
Now, I think this could make a potentially big difference to quality and helps you keep a streamlined flow. Certainly me, that's how I tend to use it. Now, it uses adaptive cropping to achieve this, so it does crop in a little. If you want to keep a wider view, you can just turn that feature off for that wider view without leveling. So yes, let's talk field of view with a new MegaView, which is ultra wide field of view with less distortion at the edges, along with cleaner, sharper edges compared to ultra view. But remember, for the widest view, turn tilt fix off. Okay, let's talk about new creative features that have been ported over from some of the other cameras in the Insta360 range that are now available on this tiny camera. It actually blows my mind. You now get the dynamic time-lapse feature, which I love on the Ace Pro, and you can apply the effect with just a tap on the app. I love it. And you also get new immersive motion blur style shots using the motion ND feature. ND effects without actually using a filter. Again, available with a tap on the app. And slow motion has been upgraded too, now getting 200 frames per second at 1080p, up from 120 frames per second on the Go 3. You also get gesture control, which is new to the Go 3S. Super convenient if the Go 3S is out of reach and maybe you're in a noisy environment. But in quieter settings, voice control is still there, meaning you can capture and stay completely hands-free. Long pressing on the shutter button instantly cancels and deletes the current recording so you can start again. Now this really helps manage your storage and leaves you with only the best shots to sort through later. Well done for staying with me this deep into the video. Your reward is another major new feature. This is called Easy Switch, meaning you can easily adjust the aspect ratio that you're filming in. The Go 3S now decides the aspect ratio depending on its orientation. If you're shooting in straight video rather than free frame, twist it quickly to change from horizontal to vertical aspect ratio and back again if you want, meaning you won't lose the shot because you were changing settings. Now sure, there are some things I wish the Go 3S had, like haptic feedback built into the camera and perhaps better low light performance and a bigger sensor and capability to connect to wireless external mics or even Bluetooth mics like my AirPods. But if you've been watching my vlogs from Japan with the Go 3, the audio is actually pretty good and has surprised a lot of you. I mean, check out this sample from the 3S here.
So this is me walking along on the beach, and we've got just the external mics on, and you can see the waves here behind me, and there's a dog just running past me here now in the background, and you can hear the waves crashing, and you should be able to hear my voice isolated here nicely as well. Let me know what you think about how the voice works out. Yeah, hello. Hey.
Here's some super exciting news. The Go 3S unit is compatible with the Go 3 Action Pod. Just look at this. And yes, Insta360 is making the Go 3S standalone camera unit available for purchase if you're a Go 3 owner and you just want to upgrade the camera unit alone. I think this is a fantastic initiative and I fully applaud Insta360 for making this upgrade route available. And yes, the Go 3S fits the original Go 3 hat clip just fine too, and probably a lot of the accessories that you may already have. I mean, I say probably because I haven't tested all of them. Okay, here's the question. Is 4K too much? Now the balance you're going to have to strike here is that 4K takes a lot more in your memory space than shooting 2.7K or 1080p. So really what you're thinking about here is what are you going to be using your footage for? If it's going to be for landscape or integrating into a long form video or making a long form video just using this remarkable little camera like I'm going to be using it for, then 4K is really good and worth the space. But if you're just going to be using it for socials, for verticals, on shorts, TikTok, Reels, that kind of thing, then consider 2.7K or 1080p to get the best bang for your buck in terms of memory space, particularly if you're going to be away for a few days. I'll have more to say about shooting styles in another video, so subscribe and watch for my tips on using this new Go 3S. There's just too much here for one video, there really is. I mean, we haven't even got to quick file transfer, instant app previews, or the new quick reader, which I'm very excited about. Haven't got mine yet, but expect more from me on that soon. But my first impression is that I think it's great. It's a worthy upgrade if you're still with the Go 2 and an affordable way to upgrade from the already excellent Go 3 if you want the latest features like 4K video, Find My, and the return of interval video mode. Check out this video next on how to use that interval video on the Go 3S, and watch out for my video on how I set up and use my Go 3S settings for the best footage. And there's going to be lots more like all the features and comparison videos too. Catch you soon.